In terms of elite shooters, there's a brotherhood. I'm so excited to be in San Francisco, to have a chance to sit down with a Stephen Curry, soon to be the greatest of all time.
What has happened? My brother. See, it's great to see you in person for the first time in a minute.
Mr. Stephen Curry is in the building.
Yes, sir.
It's been 7 or 8 years since you and I sat down. There was 2 things I took from that, from our conversation. Because you said, I'm gonna go down as the greatest shooter of all time, check. And you wanted to own that 3-point record where you are less than 150 threes away from Ray Allen.
I mean, it's always been surreal to even go back in time and think about those ambitious goals I had. My love for just shooting the basketball, it's always been a part of me as a basketball player, something that I've worked on. So to join that club is mind-boggling. I'll have some emotions for sure, if and when it happens, just because it all goes back to how many shots that I shot in my life to have that moment. And that's a pretty cool thing to think about. I'm still trying to push the envelope, to be honest. Like, I feel like there's, a lot left in the tank, for the rest of my career. So I'm appreciative, but I'm not done yet.
Steph is a very unique shooter. He's probably the best off-the-dribble shooter from distance this game has ever seen.
Curry with a long.
Reggie again. Yes.
Boom, baby. Curry way downtown. Bang! Reggie Miller does it again.
It is definitely Miller time.
I think Curry is taunting me. In all my travels, people come up to me and was like, man, what did it feel like in '94 for me, that 25-point fourth quarter versus, being in the zone? What's it like to be in your zone?
I'm sure my pupils are all huge, looking around, feeling a certain type of way. But it's one of the best feelings because you don't think about much. You're just looking for any bit of daylight. If the shot is not getting blocked, it's going in. And it's such a seamless flow to it from the time I plant to the time I release, and there's zero thought in that motion. And that's such a freeing feeling.
Being in that zone it can be demoralizing to the opponent, to whoever's guarding you. What are some of the things that your opponents have said when you're in that Stephen Curry zone?
In the moment, there's not much because either I'm doing some stupid dance on the way back and I'm out of earshot, so they can't say that to me. A lot of it is you'll get the ones and layup lines, like, hey, don't be trying nothing crazy tonight, and little stuff like that. I just like the dumbfounded stares when they have nothing to say. Those are the moments you live for.
Curry three. Got it! Curry puts it in again. That is almost unfair. He is not human.
My favorite player growing up was Reggie Miller.
Reggie Miller.
Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller.
Reggie Miller.
Reggie Miller. There it is.
Curry has tied Reggie Miller right there. 2,560.
Steph, obviously, when you passed my record back in January, walk us through kind of your thought process since you say I was your favorite player.
I knew I was closing in on it. I knew that night I was gonna shoot enough to to have a shot at it. It was kind of a perfect play to pass your number just because it required a lot of running around.
You did.
Curry is now second all-time and trails only Ray Allen in NBA history.
It's one that when it's all said and done, I look back, there'll be moments that'll pop off, obviously championships and all the other things. That will be a moment that I'll remember vividly just because of how much it meant, from shooter to shooter.
And we were very fortunate after the game, after you broke the record on Zoom. Had my son with me. Thank you so much for your encouraging words. The Millers are very proud of you, especially this little guy. He is your #1 fan. So thank you so much for what you have done, my friend.
I appreciate that a lot. It means a lot to be right there with the whole Miller family. So I appreciate you, bro. Hopefully it impacted him. Hopefully it impacted kids that see what we do and are inspired by what we do.
Curry fires the three. Steph one more time. Good!
Man, Steph Curry.
Oh! Stephen Curry! That's the greatest three-point shooter the game has ever seen.
Stephen is less than 150 threes away from Ray's record. And at one point, I didn't think anyone would get anywhere close to over 2,900. Now I'm starting to think Stephen is going to shatter this record. So Stephen, after you get the record, what's next? Obviously more championships.
More championships, more threes, more everything. I think because you want to see how far you can push it. How many threes can you get in? Who knows what the number could be when it's all said and done, and I'll have to let that speak for itself.
I was fortunate to hold the record for 13 seasons. Who do you think has a shot at coming for the crown?
It's a great question. It's funny how each era is built on the era before. Obviously, the game has changed dramatically. So then you look at the list, obviously James, Clay, Dame Lillard, Buddy's potentially up there. Those are the 4 guys that come to mind.
No one is coming for the crown.
There's somebody in the 2nd grade right now who's gonna watch this.
No one is born yet. No one, I don't think, is born yet.
I like my chances of keeping it forever. But even like in a season, I never thought 400 threes was even remotely possible.
That's insane.
And it happened. So I'm not going to Vegas to put any money on anybody
Oh, I
else.
am. Go to Vegas. This is one NBA record that will never, you heard it, never be touched.
I'm with it.
Awesome. This is great. The GOAT here, the GOAT. It was very fun, awe-inspiring to have a chance to speak with Stephen Curry today. In my opinion, the greatest shooter of all time. I cannot wait to watch Stephen as he approaches Ray Allen's three-point record. It's gonna be fun to watch. Hope you tune in.